Ukraine has traditionally been a breadbasket for Europe. Its rich soil and mostly flat geography have allowed 70% of the country to be used as agricultural land. In 2020, Ukraine was the world's biggest exporter of seed oils like sunflower and rapeseed. It was the world's fourth largest exporter of corn and fifth largest exporter of wheat. However, Russia's invasion of Ukraine has sharply changed the country's agricultural outlook. Many of Ukraine's crops are planted in April or May. Ukrainian officials say farmland used for planting spring crops could be cut by more than half this year because of the war. Spring crops include barley, corn, sugar beets, sunflowers, and soybeans. An exception is winter wheat, which is planted in the fall and harvested in the summer. Ukraine's then agriculture minister, Roman Lyshenko, told Reuters in March that only 60% of the sowed winter wheat might be harvested. While much of Ukraine has arable land, some of its most fertile soil is in the south, where there has been heavy fighting. Wheat production is highest in the country's southern regions, where millet and barley is also grown. Rapeseed production is prominent in the country's west, while corn is mostly grown in Ukraine's north. Ukrainian officials say it is too soon to predict fall grain output, which depends on both successful planting and harvesting. However, a Ukrainian agriculture consultancy is predicting the grain harvest to fall by more than half. Farmers in Ukraine face numerous challenges to a successful harvest. Even if they can access their land for planting and harvesting, they must still obtain items that are hard to get in war. Labor is also in high demand, with many farm workers having joined the army. Ukrainian officials say they are working on a system to allow temporary military exemptions for agriculture workers. While Ukraine traditionally has a surplus of food which it exports, this year officials are worried the population could go hungry. As a result, the government has banned or limited exports of many staples. Limiting exports will further damage Ukraine's economy and could also affect global food supplies. The top destinations for Ukraine's corn exports in 2020 were China and Europe, while much of its wheat exports in 2020 went to the Middle East and Asia. The war has already driven up the global price of grains, leading the United Nations to warn of a food crisis in places like Egypt and Lebanon.